Welcome to part 5 of this Lost Woodhead series. We're following this stunning and historic former railway line all the way from the outskirts of Sheffield through rugged landscapes, tunnels, cuttings, viaducts and disused stations. We'll now look at the eastern approach to the famous Woodhead Tunnels with the former sidings and stations at Dunford Bridge. Look at that. It's the first bit of proper railway infrastructure we've seen today. So we're just looking on the maps. We're just somewhere around here was a signal box. I think we're losing that battle there.
When we get to this section, that's when it's just there going to start to split out into two double tracks and then into the side.
The wind has really got up, hasn't it?
It's really
I hope the wind protection on this microphone's okay. We've got a bit of a decision to go here. The railway splits here, line down there. If you look, show you the old maps. If I just flash them on the screen, and in fact that's gate. That's sure. We're at the eastern end of the sorting sidings for eastbound trains, mainly empty coal wagons to be sorted for their own collieries. The sidings were closed upon electrification of the line, and the area of the sidings was converted into a tip for used ballast from the Sheffield area. Remember that signal box we mentioned earlier? If I can, I'd just like to share Keith Long's Flickr page with this photo of the signal box. Keith worked here for 4 years, from 1969 to 1973, and talks about working in such a remote location, cycling to the box at 3 AM in winter and having to thaw out the water for a drink and prepare a fire. Different day this from when me and John came and did the walk and filmed that video that day. I've returned just to grab a little bit of drone footage that I couldn't get on the day. While I've been doing the research and a little bit of kind of information look up after filming, I came across Keith's photos that I've just mentioned, and it really set my imagination going. I absolutely loved the photos. If you are watching this, Keith, I don't know if you ever will. Keith used to work at that signal box, like I've just mentioned, for 4 years after these sidings closed, but when the line was still in use. And I was reading just about his tales and his comments and bit of narration that he puts with his photos, and I thought, wouldn't it be great just to come back and have a closer look for the signal box? And I've had a scout around, and I can't find anything. I'm guessing it's here where it really starts to widen out a little bit. And there's a pile of rubble. I'm guessing that's just from a damaged wall. I don't know. But there is some drainage down here. Now I've no doubt that with Keith having an interest in putting his photos online, he'll have been back here anyway and seen. But I just wanted to. I just wanted another closer look after seeing those photographs, because it is those stories and things that you personal accounts that you hear that is the things you can relate to when you look at what's left of the line now, because it is hard to make the link when you're walking down a sanitised public footpath these days, isn't it? But anyway, back to the video. So these are the sidings. It is a nature reserve now. You can't walk through the majority of excuse me, I'm tangled up. You can't walk through the majority of the sidings. That seems to be out of, but in fact you can get in from this end, John. Oh well, never mind. But it doesn't look to be, I mean, it's just a nature reserve now. I don't think we're going to find much, but you get the idea. This is a railway yard. You can feel it's an expanse of a railway yard, and you can tell it from the overhead maps that there is that scar on the landscape. We have got these mounds to one side. There's a sleeper just sticking out of the undergrowth here. Reinforced concrete there. We found when we've done yards before, I don't know if you watched my Clipston sidings video, we saw a similar thing there where at some stage they've been and planed the land for whatever reason, and a lot of stuff's swept to one side. I think that's what's happened here. There's big mounds of bulldozed materials full of little bits and bobs. It's the river down there. So that's the end. There's not really anything to show you in these sidings anyway that we've found. But anyway, there we go. Them sidings, they're on the map. This is what they are. Now, there was a turntable on the old maps. We've been trying to figure out our position, and this is where the turntable was, and you think that there'd be something. I mean, you can see a curve. I think it's more coincidence than anything left, if I'm being honest, John.
Yeah, I agree.
So this would be the other end of those sidings. I wasn't expecting to find anything, but you know, that's what they are. Or have I gone too soon there, John? Is that still? We've just, I don't know. We've just seen the shape of the land narrow back towards the track bed. So I mean, there's where that links in nicely with Woodhead Tunnel that we're fast approaching. Yeah, that's where the electricity pylons and the cables enter the ground. Look, I'm assuming that's what's been carried through the Woodhead Tunnel, but we'll get to that a bit later on in the story. So it wasn't the end of the siding. So we've still got more lines over on our right hand side here. I mean, you wouldn't know, it's not really resembled a railway line, has it, for the past half a mile? It's now tarmacked. It's very, very sanitised, this last section. There is a couple of bolts sticking out of the floor, just as I say that. Still quite wide though, isn't it, John? How many tracks do you think it was here?
I think here it was, I think at least 2 here, with 1 coming in from the side, so 3 at least.
A random section of blue brick just on the cutting wall.
You could say we've not had enough of a fix of these today, just about a third full.
Yeah, it has been slim pickings this last section, hasn't it? I mean, it's a lovely open space. Down here. So yeah, we're almost at an end. Dunford Bridge and the entrance, the eastern entrance to the Woodhead Tunnel is just approaching quickly. And of course the site of another former train station, or railway station, sorry, train station. Welcome to Dunford Bridge. Now, quite a wide area this. How many lines, John, did you say?
8 or 9.
8 or 9 lines wide. The Woodhead Tunnel, I'm gonna cover. What have you seen? We're looking at something in there. We're gonna cover the tunnels when we do the other side. I think it's foundations for a post, isn't it, or a gantry or something like that. We've been following this little retaining wall. Look, it's got a little recess in there that looks like that was an old over a line post. We're trying to figure out if there was the lines at the other side here. Now there's different generations, iterations of the configuration of the railway here, isn't there? When the tunnels were rebuilt, the lines were realigned, the station was moved. Yeah, so you can look at old maps and old photographs, and depending which period of time you're in, it's going to be different. Now there is, excuse me, there is a drainage channel here. The usual reinforced concrete and whatnot, so there is a possibility that this raised section here. The other side of that wall could have had tracks on. It's been re-landscaped quite significantly here. Looking at the old photographs, and it'd be easier to try and compare if we had any mobile signals on, but it's difficult in its current state. I'm gonna have to go home and study it a little bit more now I've been here and I've seen the lay of the land with my own eyes. But let's get down up to where the stations were anyway, and have a look round there and see what we can see of the lead up to the entrance of the tunnels. That's right, I said tunnels, plural tunnels, because there's the old tunnels and there's the new tunnels. Sorry, there's 2 old tunnels and 1 new tunnel. It has. I mean, this has been re-landscaped recently as well, and look, the trees have been planted as well, so it's going to look even different in 5-10 years time. So I've got a tunnel in front, and that looks like that's the new tunnel that was put in after electrification. So this must be the alignment, the new alignment. And then we had the other tunnel, I think it was that side, the other tunnel. We're going to go up and have a look over there. So the older station would have been over there. I'm guessing where the car park is now. I think we're stood at the moment, from what I can make out, we're stood around the later dated railway station.
I think we got some sections.
I wonder if that's what goes on those narrow gauge rails we're about to see in a minute. Yeah, so this is that narrow gauge line. Goes off to the tunnel, to the older tunnels. Now, this is supposed to get workers in when they were doing the work for the electric board. I'm assuming we can just waltz into here. There's no signs, is there? So this is where the newer station was, the 2nd generation station. The original one was more on that side. Like I say, they had to move it because, so what I'm guessing is on the right hand side here, you see we've got the arched bridge of the road going through. I'm guessing that this is the older alignment with the older tunnel. Can't really see the tunnels, can we?
No, not these ones.
Not from down here. We'll go up on the bridge and have a look.
Some buildings right in front of you.
Yes, that's quite obviously the old alignment, the old bridge. Just noticed that there was a signal box on the old map just underneath the bridge. Yeah, look at that. You can see the see the recess for it there, just right underneath the old bridge, the original bridge. And this is a more modern bridge. Let's go up to this fence and you'll get a glimpse of the tunnel. Can you see it? Part of me was really excited to get here today.
Yeah,
given the history of given the history of the tunnel and the line, it's quite underwhelming. I can't put my finger on it. If you look at the old photographs and the various generations, and that's down looking at the more modern station down there, isn't it? And there's so many photographs taken of this, the shot from this bridge. Well, cheers, John.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. Another nice walk today. That felt a long way. It felt like we covered a lot of ground early on, and then the last bit seemed to be a real slog, and it was a bit, yeah, it was a bit little bit boring that last
was a bit
quarter.
nice to find. I think we peaked at the cafe.
Yeah, I do. I think we could have ended there. But Dunford Bridge, I'm really looking forward to getting on and doing the next section. I don't think that's a winter job though.
It's going to be a glorious summer's day when we do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, or a nice spring day possibly. But anyway, keep your eyes peeled for that one. So yeah, cheers as always for watching. Appreciate your support. Take care. We'll see you soon.